You know, this is another case. Again, very vulnerable person. This person vulnerable because of their age, 84 years old, stolen from their bed, literally in the middle of the night by some unknown twonk. My personal opinion is this is a staged kidnapping. I don't think there was ever a kidnapping. I think they went there for Nancy for some reason. I don't know what the reason is. You know, if I knew what the reason was, I would have solved the case, of course. But I think it's to do with money. Personally, I think it is to do with money. I think this person, whoever it is, I think they owed Nancy money, possibly, and there was a job they were supposed to do for her, and they didn't do it for her. And I think it's somebody local. I think it's somebody who knows Nancy well. I'm not saying it's a member of the family. It could be anyone, but somebody who knows her and her house well. And I don't mean necessarily in a friend type respect, but because they've been there often for whatever reason. That's what I believe. That's my theory. That's my hypothesis on this case, and I could be completely wrong. But it's the only way it makes sense to me. I think this person is local. They were so comfortable going to Nancy's house. They didn't look panicky at all. They know that house, and it's pitch black. And if you didn't know that house, that area, I don't think you would be quite so cavalier as this person was. Anyway, that's my tuppence halfpenny or whatever. That's just what I think. So I think they went there for Nancy, to kill Nancy, personally. I don't think they went there to kidnap her. I think they went there to kill her, because I think maybe they owe her money. Now, I've been watching a few sort of crime documentaries about similar cases, not where the person was kidnapped, because I think the kidnap is just staged, personally. But I've seen a few crime documentaries where it was a contractor, one that I watched just recently, a 60-something-year-old lady. She was actually found deceased in her home. And of course, so it was somebody who was supposed to be renovating her home, and she paid them up front, massive amount of money. He had a family and kids, and he probably pled poverty and said, "Oh, can you give me, an advance on the..." Anyway, she paid him the whole thing up front. It was about $30,000 or something like that. He couldn't pay her back. He was trying to pay her back. She then, in the end, said to him, "Look, you've got to pay me back," because he wasn't doing the work either. So it's not as if she paid him in advance and then he came and did the work. He didn't come and do the work. And so she started to get a bit antsy with him, as you can imagine, a bit arsey. And she said, "Look, you've got to either pay me the money." And then in the end, she said, "I don't even want you to do the work now. I want you to repay me the money. I'm going to get somebody else to do it." And he murdered her because he couldn't give her the money back because he'd spent it all on sniffing it up his nose. So he had no money to give her back. And he killed this poor lady for that reason. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a similar scenario. Do you think Nancy gave somebody some money either for a job or maybe just, to lend them, and then they couldn't pay her back, and then maybe when she started asking for it back, they decided to do this? Now, I don't know. And of course, a lot of people still think it's to do with Savannah, and some grudge against Savannah. A lot of people still think it's family are involved, Annie and Tommaso. Of course, Annie is the other sister. A lot of people still can't move away from the fact that they think Annie is involved or Tommaso, her husband, is involved. Even though, good old Sheriff Nanos, the worst sheriff in history, Deputy Dog, even he said, no, the family's been cleared. But a lot of people can't move away from it. And, I think the reason they can't move away, from Annie and Tommaso is just because, you know, it is the thing that makes the most sense. You know, people want things to make sense. Annie and Tommaso were the last people to see Nancy. So people have got another viable, plausible possibility of what happened in this case. I think Annie and Tommaso, sadly for them, nobody's going to move on, no matter what Sheriff Nanos says. A lot of people, well, say nobody, a lot of people don't think it was Tommaso or Annie. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say I would clear them. I don't think the sheriff was right to clear them before he knew who had done it. You know, not only them, but anybody. You can't clear people when you still don't know who the perpetrator is. You know, it probably isn't them or anything to do with them. But let's not forget their car was taken for a long, long time. But it was checked out, so we can presume that it was okay. It was returned to them eventually. They've not been arrested, or, well, apparently everyone's had polygraphs, but again, we haven't been told that officially. Yeah, because Mr. Nanos, Sheriff Nanos, the worst sheriff in history, he cleared all the family and their spouses. So that includes Annie and Tommaso. Savannah, of course, Savannah is the famous one, the host on the Today Show. She's been cleared, and her spouse. And the other sibling, of course, is Cameron, the pilot. So we presume he's been cleared as well. So Sheriff Nanos said all the family and their spouses were cleared, even though he ain't got a bloody clue who it is. So how you can clear them, I don't know. No lo sé, no tengo idea how you can clear people when you don't know who did do it. Anyway, I just want to show you these videos. So there's no new news. To be honest, I just want to keep talking about Nancy. There's no real new news or no further CCTV has been released. We still haven't seen the video from the Uber that Nancy took to Tommaso and Annie's house. And that again is strange, isn't it? Because they took, supposedly Nancy took an Uber to Annie and Tommaso's house, which is literally up the road. I don't understand why they didn't come and get her, because they then, when it was time to go home, they took her home, or Tommaso took her home. I don't know if Annie was in the car with him or not. He took her home. He didn't call an Uber for her to go home. He took her home, watched her go in through the garage door. Was the perpetrator already there in the house, hiding? Yeah, strange, isn't it? We don't know. Of course, Nancy went in through that garage door and she's never been seen since. But I wanted to show, so some videos have come out of Tommaso. I find them quite endearing, actually. I don't think that. I think Tommaso, I understand why Annie and Tommaso have been suspects just because of them being the last people to see Nancy alive, etc. And of course, Ashley Banfield, she came out and said that he was a suspect, didn't she, weeks ago? And she's not retracted that. In fact, she doubled down on it. She said her sources told her that Tommaso was a suspect. But I just want to tell you then, or show you, these videos that have come out on Jennifer Coffindaffer's ex of Tommaso. It's quite interesting, really. So from what I can gather about Tommaso, he's very popular. He's a teacher at middle school, local. All the parents and the children have come out in support of him. He seems a very popular teacher. But as we've seen recently, just because someone's a teacher doesn't mean to say they're not a piece of shit, of course. But let's have a look at the videos that have come out. I'm just going to turn the sound down. So, of course, it's Italian, Tommaso. Anyway, he was doing this project. Look, POV, you do project with Mr. Sione. I mean, he looks quite scary there, doesn't he? But he's trying to look scary. He's just trying to look serious, isn't he? Let's put it on full. Make sure you can see it. I think you can. Yeah, he looks quite scary, but you know, that's just that Italian look, I suppose. Forbidding look. There's no speaking on it, by the way. It's just Italian music. So it looks to me like he's got a sense of humour. And now he's doing some break dancing or something. Break dancing. No, it just wanted to show it. I thought it was interesting. It gives you an insight. It seems he's got a sense of humour, gives you an insight into his character. Of course, he plays in a rock band as well. Making ravioli. It's making me hungry now, watching that. And doing a little bit of dancing. Showing off some shapes. Anyway, what do you all think? Do you think it's anything to do with Annie and Tommaso, or are you not on that boat? I don't think so. Do you know what? I think it's easy to blame Annie and Tommaso just because it makes more sense for it to be them, but it could literally be anyone. But I do think it is somebody who knew Nancy, somebody who knew her house. And I don't think the intent was ever to kidnap her. And I think the ransom notes are bogus. They're a distraction. We've got a long way to go in this case to find out. Will we ever find out? But where is Nancy now? I still stick by as well. Right in the beginning of this case, I think Nancy is in a well somewhere. This is, just again, just my opinion. Just a feel. It's more than a feeling. It was like almost a vision, and you can think that's stupid or whatever, but I've had these kind of things before and been true. So I think she's in some sort of a well. And when I say a well, if you've ever watched The Walking Dead, where they took the walker out of the well on the farm, that's how I see it. She's hidden somewhere. I think she's roundabout. I really do. I don't think she's far. I don't think she's gone to Mexico. Though I know a lot of people do think that, and it's as much a possibility as anything else, isn't it? I just don't feel it. But poor Nancy, I don't feel that. I think all these people that we've talked about, like Jack and Lily, Nancy, and of course we know Celeste is deceased. Do you know what? Wonder, do people get to meet each other in the afterlife? Because what they've got in common is they're victims of twonks, even though they didn't know each other. I know it sounds silly, but these are the daft thoughts that go through my head sometimes. You just think, you hope that in the next life, on the next plane, there's none of this sort of hatred and crime and murder and child abduction, etc. Don't you? Hopefully all that's gone away. Okay, so sorry, I didn't mean to get philosophical.